What's up, everybody? Tech Chucker here, and today I've got another review. It's of the Hasbro Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Wave Kid Nova. That's right, Kid Nova. And you know what? I gotta admit right off the bat, I love everything about the Nova storylines, the Nova Corps. It's really, really cool. I love those storylines. So if you haven't already, go check them out. But this is Sam Alexander. He is basically out to find his father, yada, yada, yada. I won't give you all the details. You just need to go read the comics. But this figure is pretty darn cool. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open and take a closer look. Alrighty, so this figure, I believe, is mostly the Space Venom Wave Spider-Man body mold. But the articulation is pretty darn good. His head is on a ball peg with a hinge, and he can look up most of the way. I do wish that it was a little bit more, but he can look all the way down, which is great. Side-to-side motion, no problems there. Works really, really good. There isn't really much of any tilt. I mean, you're not going to get much of anything. You can see there's just a little bit. In the shoulders, he's got a ball hinge, which works really well. He's able to get that arm just above his shoulder, which is awesome. He's got full rotation of that shoulder as we'd expect. There is an upper bicep swivel, which works well. Double jointed elbows, which also work very, very well. That's very nice. In the wrist, he's got a peg and a hinge, and both of those work pretty well. No issues with that. Moving down into the torso, he's got a hinge, which actually works pretty darn good. He can get about 2 clicks forward, which is great, and about 2 clicks back, which is also great. It does look a little bit weird, but you know what? The articulation works. He's got a waist swivel, which also works really, really well. There's nothing getting in the way of that. Moving into the hips, he's got T-jointed hip joints, which actually work a little bit better than I think the Spider-Man. So you can see here he is able to stand flat-footed about like that, which is pretty darn good. I think that is a little better. And I think part of it is I think they trimmed the actual hip joints just a little bit. There's a little less material in here, and I think at the top of the legs there may be a little less. I don't know. I might be wrong. He is able to kick his leg forward quite a bit, which is awesome. So you can see here, he's able to get that leg out just about all the way forward, which is nice. Not a lot of backwards kick, you know, which we're about pretty used to. He's got an upper thigh cut, which works well. Double jointed elbows. How about knees? Double jointed knees. And then he does have an upper shin cut, which I'm not a big fan of. It looks crappy because it just doesn't look well with the sculpt, but he's got an ankle hinge, which works really well backwards, and not too bad forward. Could be better, but could be worse. And then he's got an ankle rocker, which works pretty well. So overall, I'm super happy with the articulation on this figure. It's pretty much what I would expect, knowing that we've seen most of this body mold before. I think the torso is new, or at least has had some stuff added to it. But, you know, I'm pretty darn happy with it. Alright, so sculpt and paint on this figure are pretty solid. I'm really actually quite happy with how it all turned out. Checking out the head first. This head sculpt I really, really like. I think this is just a great sculpt. I think they did great with the paint. You can see there's little bits of blue around the white on the eyes, which is really, really cool. It's fairly clean. The skin tone is nice. It'd be nice if there was a little paint on those lips. But the sculpt of the back of the helmet is pretty cool. I like this. I think it looks really great. It turned out really cool. You can see these side flares just look really cool. And then moving down into the torso, the gold looks really nice. There are issues with either the paint being worn off, and sometimes the gold isn't the exact same color as the cast plastic gold, but it's okay. The torso, you know, it doesn't keep the continuity of those straps perfectly, but it still looks good. On the back, you can see there's some wear from the paint rubbing off in the package, but otherwise it's still pretty good. And that belt has some messiness. Moving down into the legs, the paint again, we get some of that color matching issue with the cast gold and the painted gold, but you know, it's negligible as to how much you're going to really notice that. What I really do wish is that they would have made the actual costume maybe the same as the first Nova, as you can see here. But you know what? Maybe it's not such a big deal because I actually like this costume quite a bit. So, and I can't remember in the comics if there really is a difference in the costumes. I think there is. So, you know, I'm on the fence with that. I really like this costume. I think it looks great. Alrighty, so let's take a look at the accessories. And Kid Nova doesn't really come with much for accessories. He comes with Flish, which I honestly had to go look it up. But Flish is a member of the Supernovas, and so there's a storyline behind him. But this is kind of a neat little thing. It's painted well enough. I took a look and found a picture, and he represents what Flish is in the comics pretty well. So the one issue with this is you can't stand him up. He's not going to be able to stand on his own. So I got to figure out how I'm going to display this guy because you can see he's got these pointy little legs. So or feet. He's not going to be able to stand on his own. You're not going to be able to mount him on Kid Nova's shoulder or anything like that. So I'll see if I can figure out a way that I can mount or display him standing up or something. The only thing that I really wish that we would have gotten is maybe some extra hands. I would have liked to have some open hands, maybe some gripping hands of some sort. I get it, he doesn't have any other accessories to use those hands with, but it's always nice to be able to get extra hands. Or, you know what, maybe an unmasked head would have been cool. That would have been awesome to have had. So overall, this figure I'm really happy with still. I think, anything Nova I'm going to be pleased with unless they really, really execute it terribly. And Hasbro executed this very, very well. I'm super stoked with this. I really hope that Hasbro will be able to start putting out even more of the Nova Core. That would just be super cool so that we could have a whole bunch of Novas out there. That would be awesome. So what do you guys think? Is this figure as good as I think it is? Which, I'm not saying it's perfect, but it is definitely a really good figure, and I'm happy with it. Or is this a terrible figure? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments what you think. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys later.
Alrighty folks, I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already done so, click the subscribe button. Check out some of my other videos. You can see them right up here and down here. Also, check out the featured video that I've got here. Every single video I'm going to feature someone else's video. Somebody who has a channel, either it's an up-and-comer like myself or somebody who's an old pro. Whatever it is, it's going to be awesome. So make sure you go check it out, like their content, subscribe to their channel, and until next time, I'll see you later.
Tech Trickers Brain Blast.